Nick, time to predict. Yankees Rays coming up. We are only 40 minutes away. Let's have at it.
Well, this is a tough one to predict because, again, as we alluded to at the beginning of this show, there are so many things that contradict themselves and so many ways that you can take this. I'm going to have to take the Yankees because I can't not. I'm a Yankees fan. But I think that the Yankees are going to get healthy. By the way, I'll just throw another stat out there that I saw as I was perusing on Twitter. 2 times have teams met in the postseason in which one team had an 800-plus winning percentage over the other. That is what the Rays have by winning 8 out of 10 against the Yankees, for those of you like me who are not fantastic at math. So the other 2 times that has happened, both times in the 80s, the team that lost 80+% of the time ended up winning the series in the playoffs. So that trend's good enough for me in looking at baseball history. But no, I think that in some ways, baseball does tend to correct itself. I don't think that anyone sits there and says that the Rays are an 800 team against the Yankees. That doesn't make sense. That number is going to have to come back down to earth in some way. But at the same time, it's the postseason, a new season, and you can kind of throw all the regular season stuff out the window. I don't think the Yankees were healthy when they played the Rays throughout the duration of this regular season. I think that this game being at a neutral site will definitely help the Yankees because they had to play 7 of those games in Tampa Bay, somewhere where they have historically not played well at all. So this at a neutral site, the Yankees have their swagger back. They played well. They proved they could hit against good pitching in Cleveland. I expect that to carry over to some degree, perhaps not as well as it went against the Indians, but I think they can come close, and I think they can piece it together in terms of starting pitching and the bullpen. And I think that you just can't expect the Rays, as well as they hit throughout the regular season. That's not a lineup that you sit there and say it's good, but it's not great. And I think the Yankees can do some damage against that lineup in terms of it playing to their strength as a pitching staff. So I expect the Yankees to win. It's going to be a close series. It's going to go 4 or 5 games. I don't know if you want to give me 4 or 5 games. I'll go 5.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a point I haven't thought of. This is the most evenly matched ALDS where the lineups have been so lopsided. I'm not going to discredit Tampa Bay's lineup. Like you said, they have guys who can produce. They have familiar foes who will always seem to get the Yankees, like G-Man Choi against Garrett Cole, who has those ridiculous numbers, like 8 for 12 in his career. But their lineup doesn't stack up.
3 homers with an OPS of 2,400.
Right. It's ridiculous. It's unlike anything we've seen. And you can bet that Garrett Cole is going to be thinking about that number when G-Man Choi digs into the left-handed batter's box tonight. These lineups don't match up, though. The Yankees at their best, which we saw against Cleveland, and I expect them to bring that same type of swagger, maybe not to the same extent because of the Rays pitching staff, is night and day from that Tampa Bay lineup. Now, the Rays have an advantage out in the bullpen. I can confidently say that this year. They have an advantage in the starting rotation. Can the Yankees match up pitching-wise on the starting front? For sure. But Snell, Glasnow, Morton is nothing to sneeze at. It's a formidable tandem for the last 5-6 years in the American League. So I do think the lineups is the one area where if the Yankees are hitting the way they should hit, that's where the advantage is going to come. And I think that's ultimately what's going to factor in for me. If the lineup is potent and they're patient and they do the things that really allow them to explode against Cleveland and prove that they could be a World Series favorite again, and the bullpen, like I said before, pitches to the back of their baseball cards, I have the Yankees in 4 games. I think it'll be a very good series. There will be a couple of wild games mixed in, even if it's only a short 3 or 4 game series. I don't expect it to go the distance because I'm just very confident in the Yankees right now. I think Garrett Cole goes out and he has a really good outing tonight and they grab game 1. And if they grab game 1, I like the Yankees in 4. I'll reassess if they lose tonight and then maybe they could push it to 5 games. I love Tampa's chances if they're able to beat Garrett Cole because I just mentioned the rotation depth. Tampa has that edge, and that's the one thing I'd be worried about as a Yankee fan.